Eschatology, the study of the final things, from eschaton as opposed to scatology, which would be the study, which would be, well, your head down the loo. But eschatology features significantly in early Christianity. It features significantly in the literature of the Middle Ages as we move into the High Middle Ages with the passing of the first millennium. And, of course, it turns up in the 18th, 19th century as we approach the second millennium. And it's rampant at the moment. And throughout this tradition of apocalyptic frenzy, you find a movement towards Gnosticism, a movement towards secret knowledge, a movement towards prognostication, towards fortune-telling, people gazing at the stars, gazing in water, more of that scatology. And people like Nostradamus get unearthed. People like the prophecies of St. Malachi unearthed. And people are counting the number of popes on the wall and recognize that Pope Francis is probably the last that there's any space for. And so is this the end of the papacy? Is this the end of the world? Are we awaiting the volcanic eruption in the Canary Islands, the creation of a great tsunami that's going to destroy New York? Well, yes, there are so many YouTube videos coursing about this particular thing. The Jehovah's Witnesses had plans for the end of time some years ago that then got revised. One of the joys about being a millenarian, about being a doomsday prophet, like the fellow, I can't remember who he is now, that fellow in the Shooting Star, the Tintin book, who runs around the place threatening the end of the world. Instead, what you get is a wonderful adventure from Hergé as the boy journalist goes off in search of a comet that has partly fallen in the sea and sprouts magic mushrooms of some sort. But genuine apocalyptic interests seem to have been sparked today as they were 1,000 years ago, just over, as they were in the 19th century, and as they were in the early part of Christianity. An obsession with cataclysms, a desire to see the eclipse as something that the heavens telling us something alarming is about to happen. And the world politics certainly is poised in an alarming position. There's a little film called I Pet the Goat or something. And people are gazing at these things and are reading stuff into films like that, films like The Simpsons, and it's no different to Nostradamus gazing into water and seeing the future through the through his sort of trance-like meditation. Whether you're gazing in a crystal ball, whether you're gazing at a computer screen, you are changing your brain waves and getting in touch with the abstract and reading the runes. It goes all the way back to the ancient world. Is any of this meaningful? Only in retrospect. And it's only in retrospect. So if you say the world is about to end and it doesn't, you say, well, we did something to avert it. We prayed hard enough. Well done, everybody. And if the world does end, nobody's really going to come after you and say, oh, you promised this. Damnation be upon you. It's a win-win situation for those doomsday prophets. It's just pure, unending clickbait, isn't it? But it's been going on for years. There's nothing new here under the sun. Eschatological scenarios, the superhuman, otherworldly intervention, the I don't know, all this violence, and so little hope, and yet hope is what keeps us going. I would like to think that my channel is a channel of hope over absurd prestidigitation, over absurd humbo, what was it, mumbo jumbo, mumbo jumbo. But I have no idea. All I can do is analyse what's happening and put the best spin on it that I possibly can. But there are so many. So the same sort of people who are reading these runes are now will also, in the same breath, tell you that Iran, the Iranian regime, was founded by America, that the Ayatollah is a puppet of the West, and that all this is planned. Utter tosh. Utter tosh. We're living in a time of chaos. There's very little plan here. Very little plan at all. And we are living on the edge, maybe, of an abyss, but we've been doing that for years. We are like ants crawling across the surface of a giant planet. Well, that's literally what we are. And the gods tease us for their sport. I happen to think we have a better destiny than destruction, but it depends on our united goodwill, and that needs to be encouraged rather than condemned and ridiculed.